Hello YouTube newsletter subscribers, this is Terrell from Terrell3.com, and today is Thursday, December 19th, 2013, and I'm ready to upload the newsletter volume number 51. This is the next to the last volume for the 2013 year, and we'll begin the 2014 here in the next few weeks. The uh, the feature article today is about the interview with Kerry Cassidy and Clark McClellan. And there's a lot of information on this fellow. I've exchanged emails with him, listened to his information. Some of it appears okay, some of it appears like disinformation. And but the guy does have a lot of information. He does make some, you see, he's talking about Ezekiel here and the modern day flying saucers and things like that. So some of his work does parallel mine pretty well. And this is with a video link where you can go and listen to some of his commentary. And he has an offer, which I've included his personal email address. He gave it out right in the radio interview. And I've been writing him his email address is right here. And I sent Clark a good amount of health information, sending him the healing, the energy that he's seeking. But he has a blood condition, apparently, from what I can see. And I've advised him to go on echinacea to clean his blood, to strengthen his immune system, and to get on lysine. That's an amino acid that binds to proteins and helps in cell division and body reconstruction and things like that. So it's all the financial support and all the prayer in the world is going to do no good if your temple is sick. And so I've sent him the information, and we'll see how that goes. So visit his website. It's the Stargate Chronicles, and I wanted to make a special point to put him at the top of this newsletter and give you guys access to his information and the opportunity for those of you that have resources that can help Clark. Then he is going through some difficult times. He really needs support, and I hope that you'll look at his information and make up your own mind, and if you can, please try to support him. Remember at Terrell3.com, then there's a Bible section here. There's Bible questions in this week's newsletter, and some very interesting stuff. Brian is the leader of the pack in understanding the three witnesses of God's living word. He sends along the questions that others of you would not think to ask. He's been doing this for quite some time, and I think he's read my book 4 times. And that's the Mystery Explained. You guys can download it. It's right in the Dropbox folder. And you can access all of my books, all inside the Dropbox folder. You can have everything for free by clicking on this link, and then subscribe if you want if you want me to be your personal advisor, if you want to correspond back and forth on Skype and personal emails and things like that. Then I become your resource, whether it's about Scripture, 9/11, or this current Project Black Star. So as far as an update, there's not. We're still in a lull period, exactly as predicted, as long ago as last year. I don't know if you can see in the background, but this is Libra right here. This is Virgo right here. Saturn is the best witness in this case. The black star is maybe 5-7 degrees behind Saturn right over here. You can see Earth coming around in orbit. All right, you can see Earth coming around in orbit. We're going to be the outside orbital position just about right around the February the 1st right here. I just moved the time up to February the 1st, and you see that we're making a right angle. We're making that right angle to my object around February the 1st, and the bad time is coming up when Earth comes on around in orbit around here, just about. You see in May, look at the date down here in May. This is whenever these magnetic portal connections are going to begin converging, and then electromagnetic cross-firing, and the Earth is going to be right in the way. You have Mars right here, which is not a big player without a magnetosphere, but Earth magnetosphere coming into alignment with Saturn's magnetosphere, and then the magnetic portal connections running with the black star that is, I believe, going to be right inside of this triangle right here. happens in May of 2014, and the solar flares that we had on the backside here are going to be nothing in comparison to what we're going to see in May of 2014. So first we get the outside orbit position around here. That's going to be around the 1st of February. This is whenever the magnetic portal connections make a right triangle. Okay, and they become a straight line. They were a straight line with Earth behind the sun here, October 25th. We're at outside orbit position on February the 1st, and then we come into alignment. That's going to be around May the 17th. In 2000, we're going to conjoin with Saturn, and then we're going to conjoin with the black star shortly afterwards. We should see a burst of X-class flares going into May, into the month of May, extreme turbulence for the Earth. The reason is because our alignment events, remember they go back to Chile, 2010, February 27th, Fukushima, March 11th, 2011, Guerrero, you come on around. Now our convergence is happening it's going to be in the Libra constellation. We're coming around just a little bit more in orbit, and it's going to be, if I can get this guy to work right, it's whenever, here's Libra right here, whenever Libra is going to be, whenever we're having the problems, that's whenever the object crosses Earth orbit path, according to my calculations. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I'm going to know more when we get to outside orbit position here, January 30th, February the 1st. Extreme uptick in the Earth changes. Jupiter is, see, trying to come to the right angle, like the Earth, like I was explaining. Jupiter's still lagging behind. It's still in its low period. When it comes on around to where Earth is, in this position, you see, draw a straight line out from Earth. This is where Jupiter would have to be the outside orbit position. So Jupiter's waning just a little bit, and but it's going to make up the distance, and well, we'll see if Jupiter does, but it should be coming to the end of its Earth change lull period, its Jupiter change lull period, and then we should see a change in Jupiter if we have time, if the black star is not already here, whenever Jupiter crosses this invisible barrier, this invisible line here. The reason is because then the magnetic portal connection between Jupiter and the black star will begin shortening based upon Jupiter orbit velocity. Okay, remember at outside orbit position over here, this is whenever the Earth starts moving towards the black star. So the magnetic portal connection is shortening based on Earth velocity. After we come around in orbit, after we come into alignment with the object, which is about the same, just after the time that we come into alignment with Saturn, then the black star is out here coming towards us. The Earth changes that happen at this period is based upon black star orbit velocity. Okay, so these are the indicators that I'm looking at, and I'm really not going to know more until Earth comes around in orbit and makes that 90-degree angle with the object that I believe is right along this line, right here in the on the right between the Virgo and the Leo constellations. So here's that website from the Stargate Chronicles, Clark C. McClellan. I want to try to help get him some support. He's written me several times, and he is in dire straits. He has this gold thingy that it's like $100, and it's moon gold, and the guy has a lot of experience in NASA, and he's sharing some of that information, and this is the way that he gains support, the way that I offer newsletters and information for people. So in this week's newsletter, that's the story that you're going to see here on the Stargate Chronicles. And then I was watching the National Geographic show and saw this story from March 10th, 2011. Does this date ringing any bells here? This is the day before Fukushima, and all these dead sardines. And they speculated, they admittedly did not know what the cause was, but I watched the show, and this is my research. This is what I've been doing. So this is my response that I wrote to them, that magnetite inside the tissues of the sardines themselves is the cause. That's the culprit in what's going on here. See, these animals follow magnetic lines. Leading up to the Fukushima event, then we had convergence of the magnetic portal connections and electromagnetic crossfiring between the portal to portal crossfiring creates electromagnetic clouds just above the Earth, right? Well, that causes vortices to it's like little storms, and they spiral. counterclockwise in the northern hemisphere, which causes those magnetic lines to bend east. Okay, so the misdirection of the migrating animals happens east. That's in the Atlantic Ocean over in Norway, Sweden, Scotland, and on our side over here in 2011, then the phenomenon was happening further south. Now, it's because of this is a dynamic situation here with migrating animals following magnetic lines that cross land. Now, whenever these little guys see if you study environmental communications, then you realize that these animals have predator-prey scenarios, and they're migrating between food sources, and the size of the animal has been determined by evolution, and they are the optimum size for optimum defense against the predators, and for making the distance in a straight line between their food sources. If they're too big, they're more noticeable, they get eaten. If they're too small, they can't make it, you see, so it's an evolutionary thing. But the thing is that these animals their nose is pointed right along this magnetic line, and they are going to get there or they're going to perish. Because if they get off course, they don't make it to their next food source. So when these magnetic lines cross land, and then particularly when there's an inlet, whenever there's a bay, there's a cove, then these animals stack up, and they deplete the oxygen supply very quickly, and they die. So that's what's happened right here. Once you understand the magnetism and the magnetite and their migration, then you can start answering that question. They were looking for chemicals, and they were on tangents. The reason is because this kind of event has happened before, and there would be something in the environment. So they use old models like the magnetic pole migration models. They're trying to explain the sun that are not working because we have the influence of another magnet. Well, this is another reason that I believe that the scientists need to use people that are thinking outside the box, and they need that are looking at the larger picture to be able to understand exactly what's happening here. David is asking questions on the quiet sun, and the and that has to do with the magnetic portal connection, the siphoning off of the energy. I'm going to tie in some of the scriptural um, content, some of the precedents that are in scripture, and help people to see the pattern. Okay, lots of fireballs. There was a question about, well, we're in a lull period, earth change lull period. How come we're having all these fireballs? Well, the fireballs are not anything to do with earth changes. That has to do with what's going on in our solar system. Okay, on the indicator quakes, my predictions are coming to pass. Just like we're seeing the bounce up and down. About every other week, we see a big number, 312 down to 215, then the small number, 178 down to 172. This number is going to be around 140 the week of February the 1st. Okay, if it happens a little earlier, a little later, that's going to give me another indicator, and then I will update my modeling. And let's see, the Antarctica is sliding sideways. They're finding calderas down there. They're like Yellowstone, and the reason is because they're bulging. They're easier to identify whenever the Earth is getting hotter. So this recent uptick period, this is the kind of story we should expect to see because of the recent uptick period. Now we're in the lull all the way to February the 1st, and then they're going to start making new discoveries again once the uptick period comes, because the Earth is going to begin gyrating violently after February the 1st. You guys are going to see we're going to have several uptick weeks in a row after February the 1st. The sun is said to be at its lowest activity in 100 years, and yet they're saying that solar cycle 24 is ready to come to a double peak. So there's many contradictions in the typical models that the heliophysicists are using to try to explain the sun, and they can't explain the sun. But the answer is going to be the black star siphoning off electromagnetism. That's what it's about. And Comet S1, all my predictions are going to turn out to be true. That the comet was never a threat to our planet, that there's a lot of disinformation going on, desensitizing the public so that you'll never believe me or anybody else about something coming from space. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing any radio here until after February the 1st. That's my plan. If Deacon John has room for me and we can communicate, then perhaps I'll be giving an update on his show on Thursdays. And that's pretty much going to be Clark McClellan needs your support. I wanted to mention him 3 times in this video. and he appreciates your support, and I do very, very much. Thank you very much, and I'll see you guys next week.